see, in order to make a good piece, and I think this is probably true in any art, you have to know what you're doing before you put your hands on the clay or the paint to a canvas. You have to have an idea where you're going. I try to envision how it's going to end up, because the whole time I'm making it toward an end. I'm making it toward a finished piece. I have that idea in my head. I tell my students, and I believe this myself, is before you ever start, envision the finished piece. Because that determines how I glaze it, that determines where I don't, all of the processes that go after that. Any kind of additions to the clay, any kind of special glazes, any kind of decals, all of that really is in my head before I ever put my hands to the clay. Why do I think God uses clay instead of something else for a lot of his illustrations in the Bible? I think because you can form clay. You can't form a canvas. You can't form steel. You can bend it, you can move it, but you can't go from nothing, a blob, to something that's finished so easily and so easily recognizable. Plus clay, you use it every day. Your dishes, everything you use has clay in it. It's a common object. It's everywhere. And it's so common, and yet we use it for some really fine things. It can be common, it can be fine. I think he uses it because it's so identifiable. The control over the clay versus the control over God with us, very similar. I control the process in the clay. I have to be gentle. If I go too far, I ruin it. I've seen that control in my life with God. He has never squashed me, although he certainly could have, and sometimes I expect him to, but he doesn't. And it's amazing to me that when I feel like crap, and I know I've done awful things, and I do awful things quite often, he never squashes me. He may tap me upside the head, but he never squashes me. Like a pot, you know, sometimes you can alter it a little bit, and you can tap it a little bit, and you can change it just a wee bit. He will do that to me, but he never squashes me. It's amazing.